Welcome everybody back to VGA, Video Game Addicts, and as always I'm your host, iiULTRAMAGNUSii, the biggest video game addict that you guys all know. I want to thank you guys for joining me here today on Under the Radar, a little spotlight where we showcase indie games that you guys may have otherwise overlooked. So this is where we take the time out of our day to shine some light on these guys and hopefully give them a hand up and a leg up in the gaming industry by help of you guys, or by way of you, that is. Now, today, guys, we're showcasing an amazing game by developer Silver Dollar Games. Now, these guys have also made other games like Jump, Hero, Blow, Ranger, and a whole host of other games that are available on Xbox Live Arcade or at their own website, silverdollargames.com. Now, I urge all of you guys, please go out and check out their games and help support these indie game developers, because it doesn't have to be a AAA title, guys, in order for it to be an amazing game. And that's exactly what we have here today with One Finger Death Punch. Now, One Finger Death Punch, guys, is a very uncomplicated and simple game, and at its heart, it's the game is a 2D side-scrolling brawler. And it's in this simplicity that this game really does shine. And it only takes two buttons that you're required to use to play the game, X and B, which are your attack buttons, and those translate to a left and right attack, which can be used in combinations to string together either kill streaks for more points, or just to string together total carnage. Now, there are 3 skill levels with which you can play on. The first is Student, with the next 2, Master and Grandmaster, unlocked after completion of the game. There are 2 game modes that you guys can play. The first is Levels, where your objective is to progress through each of the level until you've completed it. And the second is Survival mode, where you're pitted against an endless wave of opponents to see if you've got the moxie to last. Now, as you progress through the Levels mode, you will play 8 different game types. And of course, as you play through the game, the level of difficulty increases, and so do your enemies, with ever more complex button combinations to destroy your foes. Now, you'll also be host to an array of martial art weapons at your disposal with which to dispatch your enemies. You'll use everything from bows, daggers, maces, to quarterstaves, to deliver your death blows. Now, you'll have to navigate through the main map to locate all the different levels and to play the 8 different game types. The first of which you'll play the most is the mob round. Now, the mob round consists of defeating a certain number of enemies, and once you've passed the wave, the mob round is over. The other type of game type that you'll come across is multi-rounds, where you've got 3 rounds of enemies with ever-increasing attack speeds for each round. You'll also come across smash rounds, where your objective is to destroy a certain number of objects in each level with the enemies that you kill. You'll also come across speed rounds. Now, speed rounds are where you're given a limited number of time with which to defeat all of your enemies. We've seen those before. You've also got a survival round, where the objective is to stay alive until the end of the round without dying. Now, that is your goal. You've also got defender rounds, which you must defend yourself with thrown weapons, so the objective there is to deflect the weapons that are thrown at you. That's a pretty cool one to do, actually. You'll come across another game type called Retro Film Round, in which you play in a sepia-tinted world that, you know, is reflective of the 70s Kung Fu style movies that we may have all seen. And you'll also come across what I want to call weapon rounds. Now, these are rounds that you'll come across where you'll be using, obviously, I mean, the title in itself, Weapon Rounds, pretty much describes what it is. You'll go through a whole host of different weapons that you'll use through all the different levels, all 250 of which you get to play, by the way. The first would be something like the light sword round, which is basically a lightsaber, and where you're using a lightsaber to defeat a certain number of enemies in a certain number of time. You've got a dagger round, where you kill all your enemies with nothing but daggers. You've got the nunchuck round, which is whacking your enemies over the head with nunchucks and knocking their skulls off. A lot of fun, no doubt. Now, I'm not sure whether or not you'll come across more of these types of weapon rounds. I have only probably played about 10 or 20% of the game right now, so that would translate to about 30 or 40 levels. There are, like I said, 250 levels to complete. So imagine that, guys. For $1, you're getting a whole lot of entertainment, and the production value behind this game is utterly amazing for $1. I've not seen hardly any game that really would compare to this production value and the quality of the game that you're getting here for $1. So needless to say, guys, this is going to bring us to the end of Under the Radar. I hope that you guys had a fun time hanging out with me watching this game, and that you'll be interested enough to go buy the game for yourself and help support these indie game developers, because they do definitely deserve it. These guys put out great games that don't have the pocketbook or the money for a lot of the advertising that the AAA titles have to bring in those game sales. So hopefully with a little bit of help from us, guys, we'll give them a hand and they'll keep creating other great games for us to play. So from all of us here at VGA, guys, I want to thank you for joining me here today. And as always, 24/7, 365, the game is on.